4 corrupt police officers were arrested and sentenced to life in prison for the shocking betrayal of their nation. The officers had been taking bribes and engaging in other illicit activities, such as carrying out false arrests. Despite their years of service in the police force, their actions had come to light and justice was served. How could these officers, who had sworn to uphold the law, be guilty of such a heinous crime? What could have motivated them to take such a reckless risk? The consequences of their actions are a stark reminder that nobody is above the law. Now let's watch their reactions in the next few minutes. Officer Morris, a symbol of inequality. In many areas, the very mention of the term corrupt Officer Morris is enough to bring up negative associations with police corruption and injustice. Officer Morris worked for the police force in a major metropolitan area. He was notorious for abusing the people whose safety he was sworn to uphold by resorting to severe and excessive force and engaging in criminal activities. Officer Morris had a history of intimidating and harassing minorities, especially those living in low-income areas. It was common knowledge that he used his official capacity to pressure locals for unlawful favors like bribes. He was also notorious for intimidating and physically assaulting suspects, even when they were innocent. The public's condemnation of Officer Morris was so resounding that it compelled the police department to take swift action and terminate his employment. Unfortunately for the communities he had helped, the damage was already done. He had come to represent the worst of society as a symbol of injustice and inequity, and the very worst of police corruption. People who are wronged by Officer Morris never forget him. Their experiences with him as an agent of injustice and unfairness are brought back to mind. It highlights the fact that the police have an unfair advantage over the general public, which can lead to unjust treatment on both sides. Morris's legacy should serve as a reminder to other law enforcement officials that injustice cannot be allowed to go unpunished. It serves as a cautionary tale that even individuals in authoritative positions are not immune to justice and that power must be wielded with care. Officer Long, a symbol of discrimination. Officer Long is a crooked law enforcement official who has been accused of treating communities of color with disrespect and participating in a variety of acts that constitute police brutality. He has a long history of unethical behavior, which includes things like using an excessive amount of force and racial profiling. The communities that he swore to protect and serve have suffered as a result of his activities, which were destructive to those areas. It's not unusual for him to resort to intimidating others in order to acquire what he wants. In addition to this, it's not unheard of for him to target people only on the basis of their racial or ethnic background before making arrests or conducting searches without probable cause. In addition to this, it is well known that he makes up evidence and uses an excessive amount of force when making arrests. People in the community have the impression that rather than being treated as individuals, they are being regarded as a symbol of discrimination. They have the impression that the acts of Officer Long are a mirror of how the system sees them. They are not considered citizens, but rather criminals, and the rights guaranteed to them by the Constitution are ignored. The community is furious and has begun to take action to resist the brutality that is being perpetrated by the police. The actions of Officer Long have prompted many individuals to view law enforcement with suspicion and disdain because of how they were handled. In order to mend the relationship that is broken down between the police and the community, it is imperative that those in positions of authority take a stand against acts of injustice and corruption. Reforms need to be put into place in order to make certain that each and every individual is treated with the utmost respect and decency. It is high time that Officer Long was held responsible for his actions and made to deal with the repercussions of his inappropriate behavior. Because of his actions, entire communities have been harmed and people's faith in law enforcement has been severely damaged. In order for the community to recover and go on with its life, it is imperative that he be removed from his position. Officer Campbell, a symbol of injustice. The story of Officer Campbell is a tragic one, and it serves as a poignant illustration of the injustices that are all too widespread in our contemporary society. Officer Campbell worked as a member of the law enforcement force in a quaint community in the United States. He was known for his integrity in the community and for working hard at all he did, earning him a good standing in the eyes of his peers. Officer Campbell's life was turned upside down, however, when he was approached by a corrupt politician who offered him a significant quantity of money in exchange for his silence regarding a specific event. In exchange for his silence, the politician promised to cover up the crime. Officer Campbell, who was already struggling to provide for his family, gave in to the temptation posed by the offer and accepted the money because he believed it would assist him in doing so. Unfortunately, this choice would have a calamitous impact on both his personal and professional life. Officer Campbell was found to be complicit in the crime that the politician had committed, which led to his indictment. He was taken into custody and accused of bribery, in addition to other offenses. He was found guilty and given a prison sentence for his crime. The story of Officer Campbell is a tragic one, and it serves as a reminder of the power that a corruption possesses, as well as the penalties that come with participating in it. He was a representation of wrongdoing, but was dealt with as an individual rather than as a symbol of justice. He was a victim of a system that rewarded those who broke the law and punished those who upheld it. It serves as a potent reminder of how vital it is to stand up for what is right and to make sure that justice is carried out. We have a responsibility to make certain that people in positions of authority are called to account for their behavior and that those who have been harmed by corrupt practices are treated fairly and with respect. The story of Officer Campbell ought to serve as a lesson for all of us. Officer Rogers, a symbol of corruption. Officer Rogers has come to be seen as a representation of police department corruption as a whole. It is alleged that he took advantage of his position of authority and power to enrich himself, bully and coerce others, and manipulate the law for his own benefit. For quite some time, Officer Rogers has had a reputation for being a dishonest officer, but in recent times, his actions have gotten even more troubling. A number of allegations have been made against him, including that he accepted bribes, that he used his position to curry favor with other officers, and that he participated in acts that may be considered illegal. In addition to this, he is notorious for the fact that he uses his authority and influence to coerce other officers into doing things that they would not ordinarily do. Not only does this behavior raise red flags, but also the manner in which he communicates with others is frequently condescending and frightening. He rarely accepts responsibility for his actions and instead relies heavily on his position of authority to get what he wants. His demeanor toward other people is frequently condescending and humiliating. Officer Rogers has turned into a metaphor for graft and a warning about the dangers of abusing one's position of authority. It's been said that he serves as a reminder to all officers that they are obligated to make responsible use of their authority and that they should respect the law as well as the rights of residents. The unfortunate reality is that Officer Rogers is not the only dishonest police officer working for the department. It is critical that these issues be addressed and that the department takes efforts to ensure that this kind of behavior does not become the norm. There are many others who have engaged in actions that are comparable, and it is important that these issues be addressed. We hope you like the reactions of these corrupt police officers. If yes, then please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for regular updates, and we'll see you in the next one. As it is critical that all officers, regardless of rank, are held accountable for their conduct and that the department stays committed to safeguarding the rights of all people, it's also essential that the department continues to be committed to preserving the rights of all officers. The death of Officer Rogers serves as a warning that corruption should never be condoned and that those who engage in corrupt behavior should always be held accountable. Corruption is so pervasive that it can even be found in the highest levels of government. So make sure you haven't missed anything throughout this video. And if you want to watch a more interesting video like this, then do check out our 9 corrupt police officers reacting to life sentences video.